Welcome back to the show. So many events going on as we just spoke to Bruce Deitchman, that wonderful event. And you know what also has made a comeback? And I know, listen, we've talked about so many of them, but I just get so excited all the time because I grew up as a young boy in the theater. My parents looked for something for me to do and they said, oh my goodness, we've got to get you into something. And it was the theater. And the theater brings people together. I don't think like any other experience. And having these great volunteer community theaters in our community is so special. We have so many of them, and one of them is Orpheus Musical Theatre, and I'm joined by Rebecca Russell, the director of the latest production for Orpheus is Newsies. Welcome, Rebecca. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Let's talk about Orpheus. Obviously, what makes you very unique compared to a lot of theaters here in the community is the fact that you concentrate on doing musicals. Tell us a little bit about the history behind Orpheus.
Yeah, so Orpheus was founded all the way back in 1906, so been around for quite a while,
yeah.
right? And focuses on community engaged work. So it's run by volunteers, and it's all about musical theater, different kinds of musical theater, and just really bringing people together that love theater, love music, love dance, and just to experience and enjoy that together.
How do you choose each production? Is it a team effort? Is there a curator of sorts?
Yeah, it's a great question. I believe there's a show selection committee, and they go through different ideas every year and decide what would be a great fit based on what's available, because some shows aren't available at certain times.
Right.
So
That's
when a show comes up that you're really interested in, you got to grab onto that opportunity.
Well, and you grabbed onto a great one, Newsies.
Absolutely,
For those that aren't familiar with Newsies and the storyline, tell us about it.
Absolutely. So it's set in 1899 in New York City. It's based on real events, actually.
Right.
It's based on the child newspaper sellers strike of 1899. Pulitzer, often known for the Pulitzer Award, but in this case, he's a little bit of a baddie. He's trying to make the kids pay a bit more for the newspapers, because they go around and they sell the newspapers, and that's how they make their living. And so he's trying to up the price for the Newsies, and they stand up to him and say, you know what, that's not right. So they stand up for what they believe in, and I don't want to give it away the ending, but I would say it's a great, very uplifting story.
Yeah, and what sort of themes do we find in this story?
So it's youth empowerment, standing up for what you believe in as a young person, even though that might seem hard. That's a great theme that we find in Newsies. Absolutely.
What about the music? How would you describe the music in Newsies?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's Alan Menken. So you probably know Alan Menken from Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin. All of those classic songs. That kind of feel is what you're going to experience in Newsies. Some of you may know some of the songs already from the show, but if you don't, you're just going to love it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mentioned, how incredible the theater is because it brings people together, and this is a huge cast. I mean, how many people are involved in Newsies?
So we have over 30 in the cast, and a lot of those are young people, actually.
Yeah. Tell us about, how do you coordinate all that? Like, that's the first thing that came to mind. Like, I know what it's like, trying to get 4 actors together, and then, of course, let's not forget behind the scenes, there's a wonderful team as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But what's it been like coordinating and getting people, available for rehearsals?
I think the main thing is that people are they're really dedicated. They're really excited that theater is back, and they're excited to be on stage again, excited to be there with that community. So they're willing to dedicate the time and put in that time to be at rehearsal. And this week in particular, a lot of people are there every single night.
Really?
Yeah, so the cast, a lot of the production crew, we have an amazing team that's helping to put this all together. Costumes, amazing sets, the lights. It's all starting really to come together.
Well, and this prop you brought along too. I mean, look at how authentic this is. Like, where did you get this? Where did you find this? Did you have this done up yourselves?
Yeah, so this is actually a rental, I think, from another.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Okay.
from another production of Newsies, and so that's another way that Orpheus, engages with the community.
Right.
Other community theater productions, sometimes they rent out things to them. Sometimes we rent things from other productions. So it looks great, though, doesn't it? And then it goes goes in. This is the reproduction
This
of
is
what
the well worn,
Yeah,
right? Because I mean, if you're handing out
exactly.
newspapers, right? I mean, that's what it's going to look like officially.
Exactly. So all the kids would have this type of bag, and then they would put all their newspapers in here, and then they would be out in the streets, you know, selling newspaper, extra, and you know, trying to make a living, because these kids, you know, it was tough for them. You know, this wasn't an easy life for them. So this is a great reproduction here of the bag.
I love it. Tell me a little bit about your role as director, because it's a very unique role for those people that have, you know, never been in the shoes of a director. Describe that role for us.
Yeah, it's a role that I really love, and something that I've kind of grown into. It's, you know, developing the artistic vision for what you want the show to look like and to feel like, and communicating that to all of the team members, and then they take that and then they create their part of that vision. So that's the same with the actors, you know, with the costume people, the sets. So yeah, it's helping to provide that overall vision, and then I work a lot with the actors specifically on the blocking and the characterization. But yeah, it's been a very rewarding experience. Very busy, very busy.
What about your background, Rebecca? You know, what brought you to Orpheus?
Well, similar to yourself, you know, I grew up in the theater, and that was something that was very meaningful to me as a young person. You know, that you found your people. You know, yeah. I could see your eyes light up with that.
Felt the same way.
Yeah, you found your people. So.
It's like, you know, when Glee became popular on television, I often said to a lot of friends, you know, it's about time that the theater and the Glee Club became cool.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you kind of felt a little bit like an outsider, not in a bad way. I kind of liked it because, you know, I just felt that, you know, hey, I'm unique, and we all want to be sort of unique beings, right? We all have these things in common, but we certainly want to be unique. I'm just running out of time. Quickly remind everybody where and when it's happening.
Yes, exactly. So it's November 18th to the 27th. It's at Meridian Theaters at Center Point. Get your tickets now. It's going to be an amazing production. The dancing, I can't even tell you. It's just so amazing. You definitely have to come see it.
Go and see the Triple Threats, because it's just a magical experience. We'll be back with more Daytime Ottawa right after this.